Guys, so we're gonna start another game today, like a shooting game. And what we're gonna do is we're going to start off by importing Pygame. All right. Also, we're gonna import random, and down here we are going to set some colors. Okay, so I always like to use like 5 of the most popular colors. So I use white, 255, 255, 255, then black. And you don't have to put these in uppercase. I always capitalize them. So if you prefer to keep them as lowercase, that's perfectly fine. Red is 25500, green, and blue. Okay, what's that? That is 00255. Okay, from there, it's going to be kind of the same thing as the last game where we're just going to create like a template. And the next thing after that is we can do settings. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, well, let's do pygame.init. The first thing we always have to do is you have to initialize pygame before we can use this. So like all of these come built in within Python, but everything that comes after this line, if it involves the use of Pygame, then we have to define it first. Then we're going to include this pygame.mixer.init. Okay, and this is really just for when we start uploading sounds. So for example, if you have like a ship and you're moving back and forth and you shoot a bullet, it's going to make a sound. Or if we're shooting an asteroid and it explodes, it's going to make a sound. So in this game, we want to incorporate some sounds. We're also going to then do a width, and we'll make this width, let's make it 600, make the height 800, and then we can use these two to build a screen. So screen is the variable that I'm going to choose. So screen is equal to pygame.display.set_mode, okay, double parentheses. That's because the width comma height is a tuple, right? So these come together as one, and this is the function call initially. So this is going to be what our screen looks like. Then we're going to display like a little caption. So instead of on the top of your screen, if you're using a Mac, then you're going to see the pathway, right? It's going to have like users / whatever it is you have / desktop / whatever it is. So like on mine, let me see if I can show you. Mine is all of this. Okay, so this is my entire pathway. I don't want to see that there. So what we're going to do is we're going to say pygame.display.set_caption, and we'll just call it anything. So we'll start off by just saying shooting game. Okay, it can literally be anything you want to make it. After that, we're going to also set a variable. So pygame.time.clock, and this is going to keep track of the frame rate, but we also have access to well, pretty much a lot of things that deal with the clock time or how long something's taken to happen. So we'll use this variable here, and then also we need a FPS, which is the frame rate per second. We'll keep that at 60. Okay, after that, we are going to do a couple things. Now this is the way that I like to do things. Okay, I'm going to say game classes. Okay, now you're probably never going to see anyone do this at all, but I like to just organize my stuff straight from the beginning, because when the code becomes like 300 lines long, going back and looking through everything is just annoying. So I'm going to have a whole section for classes, a whole section for functions, okay, a section for sprites. Those are the objects that we're going to be uploading to the screen and then moving. And we'll also do main game over here. Okay, so we'll start off with the main game. Okay, so we're gonna set a variable running equal to true. Okay, a little bit different than the last one, and we're gonna say while running. So if running is true, while true automatically opens up and starts the loop. Okay, and I like to have a little space here. Okay. Then we're going to say clock.tick FPS. So this is going to make sure that the game is operating at the correct speed. Okay. Then make a little note here. We're going to check for events. And within this loop, couple things are going to happen. We're going to check for the events. The events being if the user is clicking on the keypad or pressing the right arrow, or if they exit off the screen, or it could be anything. There are millions and millions of events. Okay. Then after that, we will then update. Okay, and this is really update for our sprites. We'll update them, like their positions on the screen if things were shot at and they have to then go off the screen. Then we're going to draw/render, and finally we will then update the display. That's different from updating the sprites. Updating the display means, like, behind the scenes, all of these things, all these new positions are happening, things are being randomized, things are being shot at, they explode, they then go off the screen, the score is being updated. But then after you do all of that, and then you draw that to the screen, then you're kind of flipping it, or you're updating everything that the user is going to see. Okay, so this is usually the last thing that we're going to put down. And then right at the end, okay, after we exit out of this while loop, oops, wrong one, okay, then we're going to just say pygame.quit, because in the beginning we had initialized pygame for us to use it. Then at the end we want to just quit it. All right, so the first thing for the events, we're going to say for event and pygame.event.get, okay, if the type of event, so if event.type is equal to pygame.quit, okay, that's if they hit this little red button here. Well, what do you think normally happens? It just closes. So the way that we do that is, this is located inside of this while loop, and the while loop is only running because running is true. So then we're going to say then running is equal to false. And so this will exit out the loop. Okay. Then the update portion, we're going to keep this blank for now. Okay. And under draw, we're going to say screen.fill, but we're going to fill a screen with black. All right. And then the final thing here would be pygame.display.update. So this is the final update that we'll do all the way at the end. Okay. Sometimes you might see flip. All right. I use update. And so when we go to run this, let's see what happens. Okay. Let's see if there's any errors. Oh, there's an invalid syntax immediately because I forgot a comma. Crazy. All right, so when we do this now, you just get a screen. Now in the beginning up here, you see how this has the pathway here? We don't want that. In our game, we're gonna just have shooting game and a black screen. There's nothing that we can do, but if we press the red button, it will exit out, and that's exactly what we want. And so this is just going to be the template that we're going to start off with. Okay. All right, so in the next video then, what we'll do is we will create a player. We'll also download an image, and we'll use the image to practice using sprites, how to move them. All right, so I'll see you then.